Ask Dell. This Inside Edition report is sponsored by Indeed. We all know that vitamin C is important for a healthy immune system, and there's one veggie that has a lot of it.
Nutritionist Joy Bowers says it's all about vitamin C.
A bell pepper a day may actually keep the doctor away.
You want to go someplace new? Yeah, you do.
Just follow me, I'll lead the way.
Welcome to CBS Mornings.
See something new.
Oh my God, that was a good moment. Learn something new. This is my first virtual reality interview.
Meet someone new. Like me. Nate B in the house. What?
There's always something new under the sun.
I came to shine because you guys are shining this morning.
CBS Mornings, weekdays on CBS.
Would you like a cleaning product that can be used in the garage, the laundry, and the kitchen, and save space in your cabinet? Hi, I'm Bruce Fabrizio, inventor of Simple Green. Concentrated all-purpose Simple Green is the answer for versatile cleaning throughout your home and garage. I'm so certain you'll love Simple Green. If you're not 100% satisfied, I'll give you your money back. To learn more, visit us at simplegreen.com.
Simple Green, Simple Green.
WWL First News. I'm Tom Perumian on your official weather station, WWL AM, FM, and .com.
Well, happy Sunday. Today we are starting off mild across southeast Louisiana and muggy. Temperatures once again are expected to climb into the upper 70s today. We will see more clouds across the area, so I expect partly to mostly cloudy skies, and winds will be fairly light out of the southwest. Tonight, if you have any plans, looking pretty good and quiet, also dry. Clouds remain in place, and that's going to allow our overnight temperatures to remain pretty mild across the area, falling into the lower to middle 60s. Now, Monday looks like another warm day across the area, temperatures nearing 80. We will see more sunshine, and winds will be light.
Your local weather expert, WWL TV meteorologist Michelle Morgan. We start off Christmas Day with a hit-and-run accident story. WWL TV's Paul Dudley has the details.
We have an update on a deadly hit and run that happened last night around 6:30 on Chef Mature Highway. The NOPD reports a 74-year-old man was hit by a vehicle that fled the scene. The victim was found lying on the ground on the eastbound lanes of the highway. If you have any information on this hit and run, please call Crime Stoppers.
Well, violent crime didn't take the holiday off across New Orleans. WWL TV's Devin Bartolotta reports.
And New Orleans police are investigating two Christmas homicides, one in New Orleans East, the other in Holly Grove. Police tell us a man was shot in the 7300 block of Chef Mature Highway. His body was found about a block away. Right now, police haven't released any more information on what led to that shooting. The second happened in the 8700 block of South Claiborne. That's near Harold Park. We're told two men were shot in the parking lot of a gas station. One was killed. The other is in the hospital. Police are also looking into a double shooting. They say a man and woman showed up at the hospital just before 3 with gunshot wounds. Right now, it's unclear where that shooting happened, and we don't know the condition of those victims. If you know anything about any of these crimes, call Crime Stoppers, the number 504-822-1111.
Well, New Year's Day will bring a new float to the Rose Parade in Pasadena, California.
37,000.
It's hard to imagine putting that many roses on a float in 3 or 4 days.
So says Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser as he speaks with pride about the Bayou State having a float in the 133rd edition of the Tournament of Roses parade that takes place New Year's Day in Pasadena, California. The float will be decorated Louisiana style and feature individuals who have contributed so much during the state's troubled times, including
a nurse or a doctor that's going to represent the healthcare industry and all those people that work nonstop during COVID.
I'm Dave Brannon.
Now, your Garcia Roofing forecast on WWL.
Temperatures are starting off in the middle 60s, and we will continue to climb into the upper 70s today. So above average once again. We won't see as much sunshine, so expect partly to mostly cloudy skies, but we will be dry. Tomorrow, more sunshine in the forecast. Temperatures nearing 80 degrees. So it's going to be a warm day. But a weak weather system is going to pull through the area. That's going to increase our rain chances Tuesday and Wednesday. So just make sure you have the rain gear ready. Not a complete washout, but scattered showers are possible. From your local weather expert forecast center, I'm WWL TV meteorologist Michelle Morgan.
And I'm Tom Perumian, WWL First News.
Are we good?
From the station you turn to when it counts, WWL-AMFM.com and the Odyssey app, Louisiana's official emergency management station. This is Ida Recovery Connection with attorney Doug Sunseri. Connect now on the Oakland Hart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870. Now, beaming back to our Jefferson Financial Federal Credit Union studio, here's Doug.
Hey, good evening. Doug Sunseri, Michelle Demers, Sunseri. The Ida Recovery Connection.
I'm not concerned about him and never was.
Who's that?
There's been some inconsistent plays. He has been not, as I said, not consistent with his decision making, and that's been a part of some of the interceptions. Now, some of them he's been screwed by Tyreek Hill's hands and other players' hands. He's got like 7 interceptions that's bounced off of others' hands, but I was never worried about him. The biggest thing that I was worried about is him and Eric Bieniemy, who better get a job. I swear before God, if Kellen Moore gets a job before Eric Bieniemy, and Kellen Moore apparently is got requests to get an interview with Jacksonville. Good God Almighty! But with Eric Bieniemy and Andy Reid, I was really blown away that they could seem to handle what teams were trying to do to him with playing safeties back, and they didn't seem to be able to handle that well. But no, I was never concerned with him. And
hey, y'all have CBS Sports on,
and he is with those guys, with that coach, and with those guys around him.
I'm on Com 1 because the Com 2 was busy.
Consistent as they have been in the past, where like you come in the game and man, we got to try to find a way to get to 35. I don't know if they're still at that point, but they are still going to make big plays. Zach in Kansas City as well. Zach, I'll let you jump in here on the Zach Gill
Com 2 was busy.
855-2124 CBS. Zach, what's up?
Oh, where to go?
Can you hear me now? Go ahead.
All right. There we go. That was CBS Sports interrupting our show. Doug Sunseri, Michelle Demers, Sunseri, Ida Recovery Connection.
It's always something.
It is always something. I was on Comrex 1, and because Mike Haas and Mike Detillier were on Comrex 2.
Gotcha.
So
we're here.
We're here now. So Doug Sunseri, Michelle Demers, Sunseri, the Ida Recovery Connection. You had a CBS Sports commentator complain about Eric Bieniemy, assistant coach for Kansas City.
He didn't sound very happy though.
Not getting a head coaching job. So that has nothing to do with Ida recovery claims.
No.
Or Ida recovery. But we're here today. Give us a call at 260-1870. You can text us on the talk or text line. Ask us your questions, and we will discuss your where you are in your Ida insurance claim or anything that's related, contractors, any legal issue that's related to it. So we'll be glad to do that. And let's see, where do we start first? I'm always telling people to be patient in this process. And I lost my mind a few times, but I followed my own advice today.
Oh, you did?
Yes, because I got an email from an Allstate adjuster. Oops, I wasn't supposed to say that.
From an adjuster.
From an adjuster. I didn't say Allstate. So
again,
I'm trying not to draw attention. Or
good.
can I unring the bell?
I don't think you can unring that one.
Oh, geez. All right, from an adjuster. And he had emailed me, say, please call me so that we can set up an adjustment for one of our clients' readjustment or supplemental claim. So right when I got the email, it popped up while I was on the phone, I call right back. And I call the extension 4 times and it hangs up on me. So then I called the main number and waited for the operator for about a half an hour. And I said, I called this extension and I want to speak to so-and-so. And he had said that she had said, well, he's been deployed.
Deployed?
So I didn't know whether he was going to Afghanistan or Middle East or.
Did you ask where he was going?
So he said he was, quote, deployed. So
That's an interesting word to use.
So she said, call another number. So I called another number, and I said, this is the claim, this is the client. I would like to speak to so-and-so, but he's been deployed. So I'd like to speak, but I got an email from him 5 minutes ago. So I'd like to speak to someone about the email. So they put me to the claims adjuster for that claim. And I asked, well, I'm here, I'm trying to get in touch with so-and-so, and they said he's been deployed. And the adjuster says, no, he hasn't. I said, well, that's what I was told. Now this is like 45 minutes later.
Right.
I wasn't throwing anything by then. In fact, I didn't throw anything.
Okay.
I didn't even let out a cuss word.
You kept it cool?
For the most part.
Oh, okay.
I just said, I just want to talk to the darn man.
Right.
I didn't even say damn. And so then she had said, well, let me give you his cell number. And if he doesn't call you back by the end of the day, let me know.
So he hadn't been deployed.
So I called him on his cell. He didn't call me back. So I called the claims adjuster, whose direct number I had, to say that he hadn't called back. And she hadn't called me back either, to tell me that he hadn't called back.
You couldn't just send him an email?
Well, they have a generic email system where you go to claims dot blank state or all blank insurance company. So I was like,
and that's why people get so frustrated. And
it was pitiful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I still have the email, and he's trying to. We're trying to get this readjustment done so we get a client some money, because they blank state, really lowballed them.
Right.
Or all blank insurance company lowballed them. So I was thinking back when I was about to blow my stack that I've given this advice to stay cool. So I did.
Okay.
So I'm sort of patting myself on the back. But it's maddening, man. It is totally maddening. And, it was similar to my blank farm experience. Don't want to say the name. Or State Blank Insurance Company, where, I'd sent in my letter of representation.
Right, and then they wouldn't talk to you.
They wouldn't talk to me because it didn't get through the system. So I said that the insured lived around the corner. I said, come on over, you talk to him.
Right, and then they said, we can't talk because you have counsel.
Because you have counsel, but we hadn't received it.
Right.
And they were in Dallas, and I was about to go through I was mildly upset.
Yeah.
So, but I understand that. I mean, it's really, and my point in telling this story is I understand how maddening it could be to deal with this situation. In fact,
and you know the rules, and
I know the rules,
and you know the path. I know.
And I had a young man from, hardworking young man from Laplace. He had worked, when you're a young couple, him and his wife worked very hard to get, a very nice house in Laplace. And, they're very proud of it. And, it's just to get your first house, and it's a big deal. And you have you have a lot of pride in it. And he was emotionally spent. I
can imagine.
From all the runarounds, just the indirect answers, promises that are made and not kept. And he was just, it was more of a therapeutic call. And, finally I was like, what do you want me to do? How can I help you?
Right.
And he was just saying, this whole process has just, had an effect on me.
Sure,
my family relationships, my family, my wife, my wife's just telling me, please get someone to help you because this is causing you to melt down, basically. Right. So hopefully the information that we give here will be helpful on, trying to help people navigate this process, but it's just going to be patience.
Right.
So maybe you can do certain things to pass time Like when I was on hold, I was, answering emails. So I was at least being productive while I was waiting. And maybe you have to bring a book or something and put it on, do
Well, the
something.
problem is a lot of times it's if you're a two-parent family, a lot of times it's the mom at home trying to do this with kids and kids running around, or a dad trying to do it while he's got a job. I mean, it's time. Listen, it's a full-time job.
And I'm not going to say they say this in their board meetings, but I think it's unsaid that if you make the process difficult enough, you're going to have a lot of good claims that fall off.
Right.
Or people are going to quit before, they get to the end of the process.
Yeah.
So it's sort of a, and heck, we're 100 and some odd days, 110, 115 days after, probably more than that. And we're still talking about it.
Right. So let me ask you this. If you had to give somebody one piece of advice, what would you give them right now? Besides being patient.
Get a glass of wine before you get on the phone.
No, but like for their claims, I still find it's interesting, not to, but, we have family members who still are like, well, I'm just going to have somebody come out and get readjustment. And we're like, and I'm like, I still feel like people do not understand that it is not the insurance company's duty nor job to prove their damages.
Right, to come out. And I think that was sort of the young man's frustration today. He kept wanting, he actually had contractors' estimates. And they kicked it back saying they're not specific enough.
Because they didn't use Xactimate?
Basically, yes.
Right.
And I would say quantify your damages and be persistent.
Right.
And, you're just going to have to set time aside to deal with it. You're just going to have to set periods of time. It's much like if you have a warranty claim for a product.
Oh, I know all about that.
And you get rerouted to India. So you spend the first half an hour dealing with the language barrier.
Right.
And then, it's like a 2-hour deal. And I think a lot of times when you make those calls, the expectation is it's going to go 5 or 10 minute deal and it's 2 hours. And since your expectations don't match up with what happens,
then you're frustrated.
Yeah. So at least, getting into this, you're going to have to set time aside. And
well, let me ask you this. Have you seen it where they have not kicked back contractors' estimates that are not using Xactimate? And for those people who are listening, Xactimate is the program that the insurance companies use. And so when if your contractor or your estimate of the damages uses that program, it's apples to apples rather than.
I would say it's claims adjuster roulette. If you get a good claims adjuster who is doing his job, what he may do is agree to go to the insured's home with the contractor and go through room by room and see if you can get a consensus on the damages.
Do they have enough adjusters to do that with the amount of people who are making claims?
Depending on the insurance company. Some of the insurance companies' poor service is because they're understaffed. There's 3 or 4 insurance companies, smaller ones, not the ones that advertise during the Saints game, but not Mayhem. But some of the smaller ones, I think they're just understaffed. And what's happening is a lot of the adjusters are so overwhelmed that they quit because they can't handle, they're being asked to do too much. And when they quit, it compounds the problem because it gets reassigned.
Right.
And, the left hand doesn't really know what the right hand's doing. And I think today was a pretty good example. I've got the email. And what I try to do is when I get the email in, I jump on it quick while the iron's hot so that, we can, because I know if I can engage a reinspection, chances are there's going to be a payment.
Right. Yeah.
And why are they going to do the payment? Part of it is for self-preservation purposes, because if they don't make a payment and then they go to litigation, they'll be very vulnerable in a bad faith or attorney fee claim. Right. So,
have they started to set any mediations?
No, they've done a process. I got my first appraisal today, where It's a process in the policy where where the insured selects a like a advocate contractor.
Mm-hmm.
The insurance company submits an advocate. They try to meet to see if they can work it out. If they can't,
So it's a contractor?
Yeah, it's a contract. And if they can't, an umpire is appointed or selected to be like a
neutral?
A neutral. And there's a process in most policies. I had the first one go today.
Is it kind of like an arbitration?
It is sort of like a non-bonding arbitration because you can still litigate other issues even if the umpire comes back. You can litigate the issue of timeliness of the claim, undisputed payments, those sort of things.
So is that your first step before mediation?
It's
or
not,
is it in lieu of?
It's in lieu of, but it works. Now, the only problem is the insurance companies don't mind doing it because the part of the policy says you have to pay for your contractor and you have to pay for half the umpire.
Oh, okay.
So sometimes you spend $3,000 or $4,000
right.
extra to have that process. So that's a drop in the bucket to the insurance companies.
Right.
Need a break.
So that's one of the resolutions. I haven't had anything. We hadn't got to the point on mediation as far as with the program with the insurance commissioner, but I think it'll probably start getting close in January or February.
Gotcha.
All right, let's go to a break. Doug Sunseri, Michelle Demarest, Sunseri-Ida Recovery Connection. We'll be right back after this brief time out. It's in the I was charging it. It's by mail.
Bring on the Panthers. Duke Johnson is in 3rd and 2. 2 and a pass. Got some pressure. He'll go down. Sacked by Mr. Cam Jordan. Made his 7th Pro Bowl. Got the sack, and that's back to the Saints versus Panthers, Sunday, 3:25 p.m. on WWL.
Okay.
Soon to Louisiana.
Yes.
You know, you got 8 till 11 on Sunday.
Yeah, 8 to 11. I'm on. We're on because of the flex. Yep.
Did they tell you about that?
Yes, they did. They told me today.
Okay. Also, FEMA is extended now.
DraftKings is
What did they extend?
As a leader in daily
I just saw the headlines. They extended the date on it.
What's the new date? Old date, new date.
That I don't have. I'm sorry.
Let me take a look.
Sportsbook app now and use code BIG870 when you sign up. Those who sign up right now will get $100 in free bets to use once mobile sports betting hits Louisiana. That's code BIG870 to get $100 in free bets instantly. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-770-STOP. 7867. 21 and over. Louisiana only. Availability varies by parish. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for full terms and conditions.
Individual rates, coverage offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions. Not available in all areas. If you're a small business owner, listen up. Pi Insurance wants to give you one of those aha moments. The kind that could save you money. Workers' comp is probably one of the biggest costs you face. But did you know that insurance providers have flexibility in setting their prices? That's right. But many don't bother giving small businesses the savings you deserve. Instead, you can get lumped in with other businesses and overcharged. Pi Insurance was created to change that.
All right.
With Pi, you get a quote tailored specifically to your business, and you could save up to 30% with no hassle and no hidden fees. And with helpful representatives just a call away, it's easy to understand why Pi is rated excellent by customers on Trustpilot. Take 3 minutes to see how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your agent for Pi or go to trypi.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
I'm attorney Mike Brandner. There's nothing easy about a car wreck. You're hurt, your car's wrecked, you're in pain, you're missing work, doctor bills are piling up. You have too many things to worry about. After you've been hurt in a wreck, you need an attorney with a reputation for getting results. You focus on getting better, and we'll focus on getting you paid for it. Call 345-1111. The call and the advice are free.
Mike Brandner's the one. Call 345-1111.
Results may vary. Offices in Metairie and Hammond.
Tired of waiting for roof estimates and to schedule? VinylTech can help. Go to vinyltechnola.com and request a roofing estimate now. We can provide you with a roof estimate via email within 36 hours and install within 7 days. We have over 22 project managers standing by to tackle your project. We are your local roofing experts for over 30 years. We have all material in stock and over 11 crews available now. We strip all roofs down to the deck to inspect the plywood and change it if needed. Get a quote now at vinyltechnola.com.
New to CuriosityStream, a shocking discovery of a 1,200-year-old ancient Roman harbor excites researchers. Why did this thriving port suddenly disappear? Find out on the Emperor's Lost Harbor. And from COVID vaccines to dark matter, cancer-sniffing dogs to life on Mars.
Are we alone? I don't think so.
The year's best scientific news and breakthroughs on Top Science Stories 2021. Watch now on CuriosityStream. Annual plans are just $20. That's $1.67 a month. Visit CuriosityStream.com.
What are your 2022 business goals?
Okay, going live right after this one.
More security?
A second ago.
Dell Technologies has the expertise to help you. From transforming your digital workspaces to providing comprehensive end-to-end IT solutions.
To February 11th.
Get high-performance computers featuring Windows
Public
11 Pro
Assistance
with
Program.
powerful hardware-based security and savings up to 45% during Dell's New Year event sale. Get special financing through Dell Financial Services. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
It's continuing coverage of the Ida recovery on WWL-AMFM.com and the Odyssey app. Reach attorney Doug Sunseri now on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Michelle Demers, Sunseri-Ida Recovery Connection. Now, friend Christian tomorrow is substituting for Newell.
Oh, did you listen to him today?
Oh, yeah, he was good.
Was he good?
Yes, he's very good. And he's on tomorrow. Tomorrow he will have guest host Christian Garrick. He will have Professor Wilfred Riley, who will join the show to discuss his book, Hate Crime Hoax, How the Left is Selling a Fake Race War. I'm listening to that one.
That'll be interesting.
I think
who did he have on today? Do you know?
He had a professor, a doctor from LSU, talking about the vaccine.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. He asked him some hard questions, and the doctor, he crawfished. He wouldn't talk about it.
Really?
He asked him about whether the NFL's policy and the canceling bowl games over non-symptomatic COVID players is a good policy.
Was he pro? Was he a pro-vaccine doctor, or was he a science doctor, or was he a?
He was with Ellen. Yes, he was one. You know, in my opinion, one size fits all kind of doctor, which makes me suspicious. I think there's a lot of different modalities to deal with that. But the guest is Wilfred Riley. He'll discuss hate crime hoax, how the left is selling a fake race war.
Oh, interesting.
I think, and also he's going to almost a year into President Biden's first term. What grade would you give him? Now, if you ask President Biden what grade he would have in school, he'd say, "Where's my prom date? Where is she? I think she's a blonde. She's somewhere around here."
Oh,
anyway,
I'm going to be quiet.
I don't know. But so listen to Christian. He does a fantastic job. We were going to
talk about the extension.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, Doug back in the studio told us that the FEMA extends the deadline for Hurricane Ida assistance. FEMA has extended the period for applicants to request public assistance grants to February 11th. The public assistance program provides local and state governments, churches, and certain nonprofit organizations aid after disaster declarations. And you can go to the FEMA grant portal for faster processing.
Is that the same date as the last date to file your proof of?
No, that's around February 26th.
Okay,
if you have a flood insurance claim, you have till February 26th as it stands now to file a proof of loss, which is a form that's signed by you, and also you have to attach the estimate. The federal government is strict on this, and if you have a flood claim and you don't have all your money, you got to start getting this together today, because the federal government and flood policies have no empathy and not a lot of law backing the homeowner or the insured. You would have to definitely deal with that. Start dealing with that.
So
after the
what
first
goes
year.
on your proof of loss?
It's basically when you got if you got an initial claim, they had a proof of loss and they fill out certain categories. And what you want to claim is you're preserving your right to get the full extension of your damages as referenced by the attached estimate. So, for example, if FEMA paid out $50,000 and you have an estimate that says you have damages to $110,000,
right,
you have to fill out this form saying you have $110,000 of damages, and you have to send it in to your insurance carrier. I send it to FEMA's, and I think they're in Kansas, everywhere, so that they can't say they didn't receive it.
right.
And then you preserve your right for another year to try to get a supplement. If you can't get a supplement, then you can file a lawsuit in federal court. If FEMA doesn't pay, there's no extra damages for non-payment. There's no penalties. I don't think you can even get your court costs back if you prevail. But there are some claims that we have that have been significantly deficient or lowball that we're actually started writing out the proof of losses today to get signed by the claimants when we're going to send it in, and they'll maintain their right to get the additional money, because we've had cases where I'll give you an example. This is for flood, not wind. So this is going to probably impact people in St. Charles Parish, St. John's Parish, Terrebonne, Lafourche, that the flood insurer maybe paid $50,000. And they came back out again and they said, yes, we agree that we underpaid you. We probably owe you another $40,000.
Okay.
And no proof of loss was filed for that extra money. Even though the adjuster promised to pay you, if you don't have that proof of loss to preserve that right, it goes away.
Right.
And in the law, when the feds write their laws about their products, they put everything on the insured. They say if anything goes wrong, it's the insured's fault. Because they get the right law.
And also, those proof of losses have to be filed by the insured have to be signed by the insured themselves, not their attorneys.
Right. I know that one. So what you want to do is be very, very careful in adhering to this, because after Hurricane Katrina, a lot of people were caught by surprise. The federal government had a sense of guilt during that time because they understood that they really royally screwed up with the levees.
Right.
And they flooded all of New Orleans because of their lax oversight of the levee system. But now they're not sympathetic 16 years later. And the flood insurance pool has been depleted because it's paid with premiums from homeowners. They're raising it as we speak.
Right.
You need another break.
So it's again, I'm just emphasizing this deadline, and they don't publicize this deadline either because they don't mind if people miss it. They really don't, because they understand if the deadline is not adhered to, they are limiting their payout. So you're going to have to dig, and if they extend it, we have to dig and find it. In fact, I called Commissioner Donlin a couple of times before the extension to February 26th. He had to go dig and find it. He was the insurance commissioner.
Right.
So, again, this is a very strict requirement, and we're going to probably harp on it for the next month and a half so that everybody at least has knowledge to preserve their rights.
Right.
All right, let's go to a break. Doug Sunseri, Michelle Denver, Sunseri-Ida Recovery Connection. We'll be right back after this brief timeout.
Men, no matter what size she wears, there always comes a day when she says,
it would definitely be okay if these diamond stud earrings were a little bit bigger.
Thousands of women own a pair of Ramsey's diamond studs.
When your diamond stud earrings come.
Okay, we have a Miss Sharon on the phone, Sharon from Prairieville, and she has a question to ask about insurance companies and attorneys and the fees thereof.
If she doesn't have a pair of Ramsey stud earrings,
you need to fix that.
We have them for as little as $299.
And Ramsey's diamond stud earrings are cut to glitter in the dark.
We're going to package her new diamonds in a fabulous presentation box
and gift wrap it so gorgeously that everyone will take photos
before she even opens it.
And after she opens it,
You the man.
The largest diamond store in Louisiana is Ramsey's Diamond Jewelers on Veterans between Bonneville and West End in Metairie.
The following ad is paid for by McClenny Mosley Associates, 1820 St. Charles Avenue, Suite 110, New Orleans, Louisiana, 70130. Attention homeowners with homeowners insurance. If your home was damaged by the recent Hurricane Ida, you may qualify for additional compensation. Was your home damaged by Hurricane Ida? Are you concerned you were cheated or underpaid by your insurance company? If so, it's not too late to receive the compensation you deserve. In August 2021, much of Louisiana was devastated by a violent hurricane, leaving destruction in its path. Insurance companies often underpay and purposely undervalue claims for weather damage to homes, leaving you to pick up the pieces. You may be entitled to significant compensation and bad faith damages. Know your rights. Call McClenny Mosley and Associates. We have the experience needed to fight insurance companies for the value you deserve. Call now for a free evaluation of your claim.
Please call 800-299-5552. That is 800-299-5552.
I don't know if you fired up the heater yet or not, but either way, I'd make sure you call Nash Heating and Air and let them come out, check the heater, and make sure it's operating safely and efficiently. And since we're going to be playing thermostat ping pong, with what we call winter down here, let them check the air conditioner too, and maybe talk to them about a maintenance agreement. Nash Heating and Air has been around for 50 plus years, family owned and operated. You can give them a call, 504-835-4440, or go to nashac.com.
Has this ever happened to you? My friend was telling me about his new pair of headphones, so I looked them up online. Now, everywhere I go is a creepy ad for those headphones. I looked up one time. I hate that feeling like I'm being watched. I got DuckDuckGo and saw a difference right away. With one download, you can search and browse privately, avoiding trackers, all for free. It's that simple. Take back your privacy online with DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
Hi, folks. Joel Myers from my friends at Mercedes-Benz of New Orleans. If you're in the market for a great pre-owned luxury vehicle, look no further than Mercedes-Benz of New Orleans, where you can shop from a large selection of top luxury brands, including BMW, Lexus, Range Rover, Cadillac, Infiniti, and many others. Of course, we have a large selection of top quality certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz vehicles as well. Because at Mercedes-Benz of New Orleans, we get the nicest pre-owned vehicles from the nicest people.
Yeah. And
Our
he said,
customers. Mercedes-Benz of New Orleans.
Yeah, they, at the end, they go,
Have you wanted to speak a
they
new
go,
language,
let's
but
go,
thought it would
Brandon.
be too
He
difficult
goes,
or take too much time? Then try Babbel.
He had no idea what they're talking about.
Spanish for future travel plans, French to
It's
connect
all
with
over.
extended
Okay, we have a short one right after this.
The guy's
and,
getting all
then we'll
kinds of
go
praise,
live.
too.
We have
The-
Miss Sharon on the phone, and she's from Prairieville.
that you'll actually use. All you need is 15 minutes a day, and
That
you'll be on
guy,
your
he
way
did-
to
he's a
confidently
dad in the
speaking a
Army.
new
He just did
language
it as a
in just a
joke.
few weeks. Babbel is designed by real language
called
experts
in. It was
using
like
a
a
modern
call-in. And
conversation-based
at the end of the
technique
call-in,
that makes
he
learning
said, "Let's go,
fun,
Brandon."
engaging,
He goes,
and best
"Yeah,
of all,
yeah."
memorable. It
I mean, what
starts by
else?
teaching you words
He
and
probably
phrases.
didn't know, but what
Then
else you want to
sentences
say?
gradually get more complex. Soon you're practicing short conversations about real-life topics. And with 14 languages to choose from and lesson topics like travel, business,
You see that?
relationships, and more,
I was
you'll be
all
sure
over
to
the
learn
place.
what matters most to you. Babbel, language for life. Learn a new language with ease. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
We're all on this planet together, so join Odyssey and find your one thing. This holiday season, invest in some LED Christmas
he's
lights.
good.
They use significantly less energy than regular bulbs. Join Odyssey, and together, each of us doing one thing makes a greener tomorrow. What's your one thing?
Back to Ida Recovery Connection on WWL-AMFM.com and the Odyssey app. You can get expert advice now from attorney Doug Sunseri on the Oakland Heart Jewelers talk and text line, 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. Let's go to phone line. Sharon from Prairieville, the home of the late, great Boots Garland. Anybody who's an old LSU fan will know Boots. And also the present home of Lolo Jones.
Oh,
There
okay.
you go. Hey, Sharon, what you have for us from Prairieville?
Hey, Doug. Okay, this is my question. So if you get an attorney to sue your homeowner insurance, and let's say your roof is $20,000, and then, of course, you know, the attorney have to get his fee, just say it's 40% or whatever, and you end up with like 10, 11,000, 12, whatever left, you still don't have enough to repair the roof. So I guess Well, I guess my husband and I was talking about it. You're still going to have to come out your pocket with the difference to get the roof repaired.
Yeah, that's a very well. Theoretically, is a good point. Now, there's a couple of things you could do. Is first of all, if the insurance company is in bad faith, which you can maybe establish if you have the claim documented well, you might be able to get something over and above with the insurance company, the damages. That would be one. The second aspect is a lot of times when they settle a claim, they will cut loose your recoverable depreciation, meaning the money that they hold back pending the repair of the roof. So they make you agree to cut loose the recoverable depreciation. Now, what I do say is when the time to hire an attorney is either 1 or 2 times, because a lot of times when people call me, I send them back and say, look, try to do this A, B, or C, or much of the advice I give on the radio, and try to get as much money as you can on your own so that you'll retain more of your claim. And, because when you hire an attorney, you're right, there's going to be the cost and percentage, a percentage and the contractor's costs that come out. So my first advice is try to do as much as you can on your own. Now, if you have a roof, what I'd advise you to do is in your roofing estimate, have the roofer put a statement if it needs to be replaced, that the roof needs to be replaced due to the high winds from Hurricane Ida, that it cannot be repaired for whatever reason that they give. And this is the analysis they utilize to coming to that conclusion. If you put that in the estimate and you send it to the insurance company, a lot of those no's are turning to yes. So for a lot of people who have a roofing issue, if you go back to your roofer and ask him to be more specific on why it needs to be replaced, if it needs to be replaced, what analysis did he use to come to that conclusion, and a statement as to why it could not be repaired or patched. And if you can do that for your roof, you won't need to hire an attorney. And also document the claim that you've submitted it to the insurance company, and continue to document follow-up. So one, they're either going to you're going to get their attention and they'll pay it, or B, if you do have to hire an attorney, you have established a possible bad faith and attorney fee claim. And if you go to mediation, you said, you were supposed to pay this long ago. Now I have to hire an attorney. I had to get a contract. I had to incur these expenses. So you make your case to get some of those expenses back under the bad faith statute.
Okay. So when you file with the attorney and you get some money and you don't get enough to repair the roof, so in this next year the wind come and blow the roof off again, the homeowner going to say, well, did you prepare the roof last time? What did you do with
Well,
that
you do have to repair it. You do have to replace it. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what they play. Now, I think again for a roof, I think if you do it correctly, you won't need an attorney. And most of the insurance companies I'm dealing with, once they get that information in the estimate, they start rolling over.
See, ours didn't do that then. Lighthouse, they didn't do that. They was just like, when returning their call, answer their phone. So I think my husband then started working with an attorney.
Well,
but I was,
Now, the two reasons you hire an attorney is A, if you convinced that you're not going to get another cent out the insurance company. So at that point, you're playing with the dealer's money because you're not going to get anything out on your own. Or B, you don't have the emotional capacity to continue to do this. And a lot has to do with your life at that particular time, your responsibilities in other areas, the time you have to dedicate to your insurance claim. Those are two reasons to get help. Now, and basically what the attorneys do is they use the rules that the insurance companies use against you, and we flip them back around. We go to combat.
Okay, basically, yeah. Okay, well, you was helpful. That helped me. I understand it better, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, and good luck with your roof. And I hope y'all. I will tell you this: if you get the right information from the adjuster or from your contractor, they will roll over. They're not going to fight the roof if you set up your claim correctly. And that's the roofer stating very thoughtfully and, succinctly why the roof needs to be replaced. They will roll over.
Right.
And here's the other dirty little secret. It will cost them, for a roof, it'll cost them more to fight it than to pay it once they're in litigation. So if it's a $20,000 roof, are they going to spend $25,000 to defend it and still have the problem of a $20,000 roof, or just pay it off? And that, that's the economics you can use against the insurance companies.
Okay. Okay. Good point. Okay. Well, thank you so much.
All right. Good luck, Sharon.
All right, Ms. Sharon. Wish you best of luck. Let's go to a break. Doug Sunseri, Michelle Demers Sunseri, and Ida Recovery Connection. We'll be right back after this brief time out.
Celebrate the new year with the ultimate timeless gift, a diamond from Diamonds Direct. Whether you're ready to pop the question or celebrating a lifetime of love, Diamonds Direct can make this New Year's one to remember. Now through New Year's Eve, we've extended our special holiday financing offer, giving you one last chance to pick that perfect ring and spread your payments over 4 years with zero interest. That makes a $9,000 engagement ring less than $190 a month. And yes, this includes all our world-class designers like Tacori and Viraggio, the premier names in bridal jewelry. The holiday rush is over, but our selection is spectacular, with dazzling rare precious diamonds in all shapes and sizes. Come see for yourself and enjoy one last week to take advantage of our special holiday finance offer. 4 years, zero interest financing on anything and everything. Start the new year with some new excitement, new hope, and some new bling. Happy New Year 2022.
Okay, the phones are clear right now.
Diamonds Direct. Get details, directions, and more at diamondsdirect.com. And approved credit.
If you drive a car, truck, SUV, or vehicle of any kind, you need Get Upside, the free gas app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. That's right. With the free Get Upside gas app, you can get up to 25 cents a gallon cash back every time you buy gas. Nearly 3 million people have earned cash back with Get Upside just for buying gas.
I always use Get Upside. Some months I make $200, $300.
I love getting money back for things I use every day.
We're going to have a neighborhood of 6 minutes to the top of the hour.
And you get your
What's that? How much time we're going to have?
Download the
6 minutes.
6 minutes.
now in the App Store or Google Play to save up to 25 cents per gallon when you buy gas. Use promo code GET for a 25 cent per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 50 cents a gallon on your next fill up. You can cash out anytime to PayPal or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Earn cash back on gas on every fill up. Just download the free Get Upside app and use promo code GET for a 25 cent per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code GET.
Come on down to the Silver Slipper. Hi, this is John from the Silver Slipper Casino, and I just wanted to let you know that we're going to have some fun early this year with our new casino promotion. I wanted to tell you all about it. Now, when you visit us here at the Slipper any Friday or Saturday in January, February, and March, you can earn a chance to shake, rattle, and roll the big fuzzy dice, where every roll is a winner, and you could win up to $10,000 in free slot play. And someone's going to have a chance to win up to $40,000 in cash and free play on the last Saturday of each month. So come on down to the Slipper and let us be your host on the coast. Have a good time at the Silver Slipper.
Can you pick winners? Well, then you can win cash. It's that simple. In the Rocket Mortgage Pro Football Pickup, just pick the most games right this week, and you can score $1,000. Just like that. No lineups, no spreads, no rosters, and a brand new game each week. The Rocket Mortgage Pro Football Pickup. It's totally free to play, so enter now by texting PICS to 20357. That's PICS to 20357.
Tis the season for Christmas music magic, and all of your favorite holiday stations are now here with the Odyssey app.
Let it snow with songs that bring Christmas cheer wherever you go.
Warm up your home with holiday music from home entertainment devices like Roku, Chromecast, Sonos, and more.
Just look for the Odyssey app.
Want to access more stations through your car?
Try out Odyssey with Waze or Apple CarPlay. Plus, listen to your favorite Christmas radio stations on your phone with the Odyssey app.
This Christmas, your holiday favorites are all on Odyssey.
You want to feel important.
Okay, we go live right after this one.
Something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too. And that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Louisiana Army National Guard. Aired by the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Back to the Ida Recovery Connection on the station you turn to when it counts. WWL, the Big 870 AM, 105.3 FM, WWL.com, and the Odyssey app. Contact attorney Doug Sunseri now on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Michelle Demers Sunseri, the Ida Recovery Connection. We have a text that you're going to parse out a little bit at a time. I'm going to parse out. Yes.
Okay, it says, your story reminds me of my FEMA claim from Katrina.
Okay, now let me stop you there. We told the story about being redirected for about an hour on the phone with the insurance company that's got Mayhem as the spokesman.
Correct. Right. And it says, I lived in an apartment, claim filed for loss of all personal items. I got so frustrated after 7 to 8 months of trying to first get through to them. And once I did get through, I got the runaround, was disconnected, so on and so on. I gave up. Question, is there a statute of limitations to try and talk to FEMA about my claim?
First of all, let's talk about the statute of limitations for a homeowner claim. It's 2 years from August 29th of 2021.
From the date of loss.
So you have to file a lawsuit. If you hadn't settled your claim, you'd have to file a lawsuit before August 29th, 2023. For flood, we talked about you have to file a proof of loss to preserve your right, and you got 1 year after filing the proof of loss. Now, the FEMA assistance program, they just set a deadline, and the new deadline is February 11th of 2022.
Correct.
So those are relevant deadlines. So you got time to work on your claim. Now, what you didn't have during Katrina was email, or it wasn't as prominent.
Right.
But if you document your claim and continually email them on how they're ignoring or not responding to you, what you're doing at the very least is setting up a bad faith claim if you have to hire an attorney, which makes your claim more valuable because the insurance company would be vulnerable on that issue.
But you don't get a bad faith for FEMA.
But you don't know. There's no bad faith for your flood claim.
And so I think the answer to this person, if he's looking to try to talk to FEMA about his claim from Katrina, I think it is
that's about 15 years expired.
Right.
But now he makes a good point of saying, I was doing that for 8 or 9 months and I just gave up and threw my hands up and quit.
Right.
That is part of the unspoken psychology of this process.
Right.
Is to get you to quit. Because if you had a true, let's say there was some way to measure the true damages for a particular insurer. Let's say it's $35 billion. But if they use that psychology, only maybe $17 billion would be accessed because that other $18 billion
are going to drop off
before you get to that point.
Right.
And that's part of the psychology of it. Now, like when I was talking to the young man, he was asking me for an explanation. And I'm sort of pragmatic and a realist. I said, if I gave you an explanation, you're still dealing with the same situation. So you got to figure out how you want to deal with it. Because being upset about it for 15 minutes is okay. But after that, you got to say, okay, it's the way it is. This is just,
it's kind of, I hate to say it, it's kind of like a game.
Yeah,
you got to play the game.
So, at some point you got to just quit commiserating and say, how do you want to deal with it? And figure out what's the best way of going about it as far as your own personal situation.
Right.
So it's just, my new favorite saying is, it is what it is. And, you can dissect, analyze, commiserate, and say it's not fair. And a lot of other businesses, if they were responsive that way, they wouldn't be in business.
Right.
And, just like the young man told me this morning or this afternoon was, if I'm day 31 late paying my insurance premium, I'm out.
They're canceling me.
But the time deadlines you talk about, they're all over the place.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's unmet expectation.
Right. So you just have to understand, and that's part of what we're doing here. We're just trying to give some good information so that you're armed with it. And you can go to our Ida hurricaneclaim.com, Ida, hurricaneclaim, singular.com. We have articles on every possible issue regarding a claim. And if you read all 7 or 8 of the articles, you would probably be primed to have some knowledge to be able to respond intelligently in a way that is productive. And if not, you would have the language to respond by email if they're not responding correctly to your claim. So at the very least, if there's non-response, just document the non-response so that if you do have to hire someone, it's going to make that claim a lot easier to settle because there's really not an explanation.
Right.
There's not an explanation as to why they didn't return these emails. And I know one of the Katrina trials, the claims adjuster, it took her 9 months to get out an initial payment. And my argument was they rebuilt the dome in 8 months. You can't get a check out in 9 months.
Right.
And the foreman of that jury was a UPS guy. The UPS guy's in trouble. He tracks 150, 200 packages a day. He's like, I do this every day, and you can't get one check out.
Yeah.
So if you can document the claim as an insured and document the non-response, you'll be in a lot better position later in the litigation process or the mediation process to collect. And that's what you need to do.
Yeah. I think it's still frustrating for people because a lot of people cannot afford to fix it before they get the money.
That's
and
right.
So they're living
impaired. Impaired. That's right. All right. Hour number 1's in the can. We'll be back for hour number 2 on the Ida Recovery Connection. So stay tuned. We're going to national news, local news. I guess they'll give a small eulogy on John Madden, who just passed away this evening. So we'll see you in about 10 minutes on the Ida Recovery Connection. Stay tuned.
The News Talk Sports Leader,
No,
WWL New Orleans, WWL FM and HD1 Cannon New Orleans, and Odyssey
On
Station.
Christmas Day on him. They played it
This is
all day
CBS News
during,
on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper in Chicago. Former Senate Democrat leader Harry Reid has died. He was 82. Reid served in the U.S. House starting in 1983 and then in the U.S. Senate starting in 1987. During his 2016 retirement announcement, he referred to an eye injury he suffered while exercising.
The decision that I made has absolutely nothing to do with my injury. It has nothing to do with my being a minority leader. And it certainly has nothing to do with my ability to be reelected because the path to reelection is much easier than it probably has been any time that I've run for reelection.
Harry Reid died after a battle with pancreatic cancer. The sports world has lost a former football coach and analyst.
To many people, John Madden is thought of mostly as a broadcaster. He worked for Fox, ABC, and CBS.
The key to that last series was that big 3rd and long play. Let's take a look at it.
But before the broadcast booth, he was a coach. He led the Oakland Raiders to a Super Bowl championship in 1977.
John Madden's grin is from ear to ear. He looks like a slit watermelon.
And Madden always viewed himself as a coach.
I was a coach broadcasting rather than a broadcaster.
Steve Futterman, CBS News.
A 5th person shot in the Denver area last night during a shooting rampage has died. Police say the gunman who died in a police shootout was targeting at least some of his victims. KCNC TV's Michaela White.
All day, people gathered quietly to honor 2 women shot to death at Soul Tribe Tattoo. One of them was Denver native and shop owner Alicia Cardenas.
Just thinking about her not being around, so it's way too soon. Yeah.
Her father, Alfredo, tells me Alicia's artwork and passion spoke for itself.
She's going to be greatly missed. She affected a huge segment of Denver community.
That Denver tattoo community now grieving this daughter, mother, and friend.
The U.S. sets a record in the number of daily reported cases, with CDC adding more than 441,000 infections to its COVID-19 tally. More from CBS's Nikki Batiste.
Testing sites overwhelmed, lines still stretching for hours.
We're trying to be the proactive type and get it done. Because if we don't know, then we could be spreading it around a lot further.
But the lines mask a bigger problem, says Dr. Peter Hotez.
The hard reality is it's hard to get a COVID test. It shouldn't be that way, but that is the reality.
20 people are injured but expected to survive in a Greyhound bus crash in central Utah. The vehicle headed to Las Vegas veered off a highway and rolled over. Police say a snowstorm hit many parts of the state yesterday, but road conditions didn't seem too bad on the part of I-70 where the crash occurred. This is CBS News.
Get CBS News Radio on the Odyssey app. All the audio that matters to you is on Odyssey. News, music, sports, and podcasts. Download the Odyssey app today.
This Inside Edition report is sponsored by Indeed. We all know that vitamin C is important for a healthy immune system, and there's one veggie that has a lot of it.
Nutritionist Joy Bowers says it's all about vitamin C.
A bell pepper a day may actually keep the doctor away.
If you want to find quality new hires in the new year, post on Indeed. When you sponsor a post, you'll get matched instantly with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed meet your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credits.
Peloton is ringing in the new year with so much new. With the Peloton bike, you get access to new classes, new music, and artist series. Get ready for fast, fun workouts with Peloton Boxing. They've also got new artist series. There are more than 100 artist series classes to pick from. For a limited time, experience it all with a $550 value offer on the Peloton Bike Plus, including $300 off the Bike Plus and free setup and delivery. A $250 value. Terms apply.
WWL First News. I'm Tom Perumian on your official weather station, WWL AM, FM, and .com.
We are starting off mild and dry across southeast Louisiana. We will see more clouds today, so I expect partly to mostly cloudy skies and temperatures once again above average, climbing into the upper 70s. Now, as we start off your work week, temperatures will be mild, nearing 80. We will see more sunshine, and then the next best chance for rain will be Tuesday. Scattered showers, a few thunderstorms are possible, and temperatures still in the lower 80s.
Your local weather expert, WWL TV meteorologist Michelle Morgan. A Christmas Day fire strikes a family in New Orleans East. With that story is WWL TV's Devin Bartolotta.
3 people are without a home this Christmas after a fire in New Orleans East. It began just before 3 in the morning in the 4400 block of Arthur Drive. Investigators say the fire started in the rear of the home before spreading to the house next door. The owner said he was in the process of renovating after Hurricane Ida. Thankfully, no one there was hurt.
A Christmas tradition returned to St. Louis Cathedral on Christmas Day. We get the latest from WWL TV's Paul Dudley.
Christmas Day was marked with an in-person mass at the St. Louis Cathedral yesterday. Many people showed up for the traditional service, including Saints owner Gail Benson. The mass was mostly online last year because of COVID, but it was back this year, held in person yesterday. One attendee says it was a great way to celebrate Christmas.
The service was fantastic. The weather's out here is great, and it's just a great celebration of the birth of Jesus Christ. And there's a lot of singing, a lot of just good intentions, and looking forward to a new and better year for everybody.
The Mass was also broadcasted online for anyone who couldn't attend in person.
Now here's WWL TV's Brooke Kirchhofer with sports.
The Pelicans are back in action tonight in Oklahoma, taking on the Thunder, and they'll be down even more players due to NBA health and safety protocols. The Pelicans have added two-way guard Jose Alvarado to health and safety protocols, joining Najee Marshall and Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Jonas Valanciunas will miss his second straight game with a non-COVID illness, but Jared Harper will be available, who signed to a two-way deal earlier in the week. And just 5 days after announcing he was not going to play in the Texas Bowl, LSU defensive tackle Neil Farrell accepted an invite to play in the Senior Bowl. Farrell is a Mobile native and will get to play one last time in front of the home crowd before his college career ends. WWL Radio's Mike Detillier believes Farrell is going to be a fifth-round pick in next year's NFL draft. That's it for sports. Have a great day.
Now, your Garcia Roofing forecast on WWL.
We are starting off rather mild across the area, and temperatures are going to be rather warm today, nearing 80 degrees. We will see more clouds, though. I expect partly to mostly cloudy skies across the area, but at least we will remain dry. Now, as we start off your work week, We're looking at mostly sunny conditions, temperatures nearing 80 degrees. So it's going to be a warm start to our work week. And a weak weather system will pull through the area, and that's going to increase our rain chances Tuesday and Wednesday. So have the rain gear nearby just in case. Not a complete washout, but scattered showers. Can't rule out an isolated thunderstorm on both of those days. From your local weather expert forecast center, I'm WWL TV meteorologist Michelle Morgan.
And I'm Tom Perumian, WWL First News.
From the station you turn to when it counts.
Here we go.
WWL,
All right.
AMFM.com, and the Odyssey app.
We're on.
Louisiana's official emergency management station.
Second.
This
Just tell
is
Michelle.
Ida Recovery Connection with attorney Doug Sunseri. Connect now on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870. Now, beaming back to our Jefferson Financial Federal Credit Union studio, here's Doug.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Michelle Demers Sunseri, the Ida Recovery Connection. We're on till 10 o'clock. And on Sunday,
You're 3 hours.
we were supposed to sleep in because the Saints were playing at 12, but the game has been flexed to 3 o'clock, so we're on from 8 to 11.
You and Albert.
Albert and I. Now, Albert missed last Sunday.
He did.
He was under the weather.
I hope he's above the weather now.
He was at work Monday.
Oh, good.
Which makes me think, well, the initial suspicion of Albert when he missed on a Sunday is he just stayed out too late the night before. Or, like for the Christmas, the truck, the alcohol, the beer truck, just blocks his street for about 2 hours unloading for his Christmas party.
Gotcha.
And so sometimes his friends would think if he's missing, it's not an illness. It's a temporary illness.
Oh.
Induced illness, self-induced.
Self-induced illness.
But he had a quick recovery because he was at
work.
He was at work on Monday. But he'll be on for 3 hours. Trying to decide for 3 hours. Sometimes we get guests, and I guess we'll decide. Jermaine Williams was supposed to be on tonight.
He was.
Roofer,
I'm very
from Tiger
disappointed
Roofing.
he's not on. But anyway,
He was coming back from Orlando, and I told him I'm not doing a radio show with you wearing the ears.
I think we could have handled the ears, but I don't think we could handle the ears and the whole family in the car.
No, so he was on his way back. So we might get him Sunday morning if he can wait. If he wants to wake up.
Can we do him next Tuesday?
We can do him next Tuesday. He's fine about it. I can get him. And Ian Hope, who's hosting for Tommy Tucker tomorrow from 6 to 10. He was saying, are people still interested, having problems with their hurricane claims? They still need you on the radio? And I said, they're all settled.
Every one of them is settled.
Everyone's settled.
Everybody knows the answers.
They listened to us and they got it settled. I said, no. I said, I don't know how much longer we'll be on, but don't want, however long you want us, we'll be here. So we will continue to talk about that. But actually tomorrow, Ian will take a deep dive into crime in the New Orleans area in the show tomorrow. As 2021 comes to a close, what are some of the hopeful notes for 2022? Ian's an optimistic guy too. He is.
Oh, good.
Every time you talk to him, you feel better after you talk to him. He's a great guy. And also, he's going to talk about younger Americans are more likely to say that other countries are better than the United States. Do you think U.S. is the best country in the world? Also, now that's an interesting question.
That is a very interesting question.
My inclination is, if you think there is, don't let the door hit you in the rear end, But we'll see. Part of this is, if 70 years ago when you were 18 years old, you were jumping out of planes, getting shot at, behind the lines of Germany. I mean, you had to grow up quick.
Right.
And, I mean, you think about Christmas. I mean, they were in, if you're fighting in France or you're fighting in, Norway, what have you, you're freezing cold, you have no food, you're being shot at, and, your buddies are dying. I mean, that is, that builds, and, a lot of blood was shed for this country for people to actually dislike this country.
Right. Yeah.
And so, but
That's their prerogative.
That's an interesting. I think if a generation doesn't go through adversity, they take for granted what we have here.
Right. Yeah, I think so too.
So that'll be also. He'll talk to Mike Haas. That's Ian tomorrow about the Saints and that ugly loss. The NFL should be ashamed of itself to have played that game last night with 22 players missing.
Yeah, I don't understand the whole protocol.
Now, there's either something flawed about the protocol, because they're all vaccinated. And so there's something flawed about the protocol.
Were they all symptomatic?
No. Yeah, and that's one of the things they got to look at. And they did make a modification for it because last night was such a farce. And, it's really affecting the integrity of the game. And they really have to quit being politically correct about this and follow what the true science is. And, you use a marginal utility analysis. What's the benefit versus the cost? Because it just doesn't make sense. It's killing the product. Now,
well, not only the NFL, it's killing a lot of products and it's killing a lot of businesses. So the question is can one carve out an exception and not everyone?
I think you just need to use common sense, in which common sense is not being applied to a lot of these situations.
No, it's not. But anyway.
I mean, some people want to live, or some leaders believe that we should live in a risk-free environment where there's no risk. They walk around with a bunch of pillows over them, and you got to live, and you got to experience life. But there you go. So Ian's going to be talking about that also. How did we get off that?
I have no idea. Let's talk about Hurricane Ida.
Hurricane Ida. We're getting in trouble again.
Yeah, we're going to get in trouble
again. Get another nasty text.
Another nasty text.
Well, we're talking about we had the interesting, I guess, the difficulties in staying, with these particular claims and the time that's incurred. But I think technology, emails, and you have a lot more ability to communicate.
Yeah, you know what I've been talking to people too, and especially the younger generation, because they're always like, well, can't I just text my adjuster? And I'm like, you can text him, but I would much rather, if I'm going to try a case, I would much rather be using emails as a proof of communication that someone has received it.
Now, I want to tell you another funny anecdote about technology. In one of the insurance companies, which I won't mention, we send in a estimate asking for a supplement. So they write back and say you provide insufficient information for the estimate. So I sort of sent the bare bones estimate prematurely. So then I got copies of pictures, I got copies of receipts, I got copies of additional estimates.
Okay.
And I attached them all to the email. So when I sent it, I get a kickback saying our mail server cannot accommodate your attachments.
Right.
So that was another. I might have let loose a couple of cuss words on that one because I was.
Will they accept Dropbox?
No. Well, I don't know because they have a funky system that you submit to a generic email, and then you're supposed to write the claims number and the insured's name in the reference box.
What? Yeah. Listen, that happened to me on a warranty claim. They wanted me to take a minute video of the product. So I do that, and then the email kicks back saying that their server can't take a file that big.
Right, the video that they're asking for.
The video that they're asking for.
And in essence, that's what happened with that particular server.
How'd you get around it? Did you send it by fax?
Well, you can't send it by fax because it has a lot of color photos. So what we ended up doing is we put it on a disc and we put it in the mail.
The disc in the mail, yeah.
But I do like email, and because the attachments are it's just more.
Their server couldn't tell you.
Yeah, to kick back the server, it says we can't accommodate your request.
Well, you could have just sent it in different.
We did compress it.
Or you could just send it in multiple emails.
Right. Well, you'd have to do 6 or 7 of them, and that's a pain.
I'd still do that.
So, but it's a it was just an interesting way the events transpired, they're saying, okay, you don't have enough information. You attach it all and say, no, we kick it back.
Sure.
You can't fit our server.
Sure.
But, just do the best you can on just documenting the sequence of interactions, the communications, so that you can make your case if they don't respond to it. And I would imagine probably after the first of the year, a lot of the disputes, the lines will be drawn in the sand. And the insurance company may make a definitive statement, we're not paying out anymore. And at that point, that's when it may be appropriate to mediate. And there's the Department of Insurance program for mediations that are for $50,000 or less.
Right.
We had Joe Hassinger from MAPS, which is a mediation firm, a couple of months ago. So we might get him. I'd be interested to see if they started that process. Now, interestingly, they're knee deep in the Hurricane Laura.
Oh, they are right now?
Right, mediations from a year and a half ago.
Right.
So
yeah, and I'm assuming those lawsuits will be starting kicking up because their 2-year periods get ready to hit, right?
Right. And I don't know how many lawsuits, they've only had a handful of lawsuits, but I would anticipate after the first of the year, some of the insurance companies that just don't respond, and the cases are set up properly,
right,
you'll probably start having some lawsuits in January. And one of the things that was interesting...
Has that district court ever handled any of these claims yet?
Which one?
Or the ones, because Laura was in
that's in the West. That's in Lake Charles. That's in the Western District.
Have they ever had any? Because I know...
Not to the extent of the Eastern District.
Okay.
Actually, the Eastern District, they have it going.
I know. They much better than...
Yeah, they had Magistrate Wilkerson had it before, and he was dynamite. And then when we had the Isaac flood, we had Magistrate North, and he put out a grid, and people followed it, and things got done. I mean, what they did was they cut through all the superfluous information, because every attorney has an economic motive,
right?
And so, depending on what side you are, it may you may have you make more money the longer the claim goes, and on one side of the claim. So he put in both of them put in like a structure where you sort of cut through all the BS and said, okay, what are the real issues here? Let's get to it and let's get it done. And basically made the experts and the attorneys, put them in a room for a couple hours, and 98% of the times it worked out.
They didn't do that in the Baton Rouge area.
I'm not commenting on Baton Rouge, but it's and they turned over thousands of Katrina claims in 2 or 3 years, which was fantastic.
Which is fantastic, right?
And they got to the point, and I think I would anticipate that would be a similar grid would be put in to do that. But you can do a lot to protect your claim right now and enhance it just by all the documentation and each each communication you just sort of follow up a status on it or a response to it or a non-response, and it helps demonstrate vulnerabilities of the insurance company, which when you demonstrate vulnerabilities in the claim, then the value of your claim will be greater in the eyes of the insurance company. They'll put more money on it, and you get closer to what you would probably be entitled to.
Right.
All right. Well, let's go to a break. I hear the music.
I hear the music.
Doug Sunseri, Michelle Demers, Sunseri-Ida Recovery Connection. We'll be right back after this brief timeout.
Hey, who dat? Celebrate the new year with the Saints as we crush Carolina. WWL has your tickets to the Sunday Saints game, or tickets to the Saints VIP tailgate party at Vincent Tower, or both. Go to WWL.com now to score tickets to the Saints VIP tailgate party, or the grand prize, premium seats at the Saints Carolina game. Plus, tickets to the best tailgate party in town.
DraftKings Sportsbook is coming soon.
Okay, no calls as of the moment.
Until you can bet on all your favorite sports from the comfort of your own home. To celebrate. DraftKings Sportsbook is giving customers $100 in free bets when you sign up before they go live. No deposit required. DraftKings is bringing their experience as a leader in daily fantasy sports to the sports betting world and have created one of America's top-rated sportsbook app, DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code LA Sports when you sign up. Those who sign up right now will get $100 in free bets to use once mobile sports betting hits Louisiana. That's code LA Sports to get $100 in free bets instantly. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-770-STOP. 7867. 21 and over. Louisiana only. Availability varies by parish. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for full terms and conditions.
Individual rates, coverage offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions. Not available in all areas. Actual Pie customer.
Workers' comp can crush a small business. Every year it would jump 5, 10, 15, 20%, even though there was never any claims. And that's where I was struggling as a growing business.
That's Mike Lozier, owner of Gutter Plumber, a small business in New Jersey. A while back, Mike found his workers' comp costs rising. Luckily, he discovered Pie Insurance.
From start to finish, it was extremely easy. They quickly came back to me with a plan that was affordable for me.
Are you overpaying for workers' comp? Just go to trypie.com, share a few details about your business, and you could save up to 30% with no hassle or hidden fees. Like Mike, we think you'll be glad you did.
I'm very happy that I moved over to Pi for my workers' comp so that I can grow my company while not breaking the bank.
Find out how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your agent or get a quote at trypie.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
Finding great candidates to hire
Okay,
can
this
be
is the
like
last spot, and we'll go live after
a
this.
needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ziprecruiter.com/free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Thanks for joining attorney Doug Sunseri on the Ida Recovery Connection. From the station you turn to when it counts, WWL. Consult with Doug now on the Open Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back on WWL AM, FM, Odyssey.com. You know WWL is your home for Tiger Hoops. Tomorrow night, undefeated LSU hits the road against Auburn to take on the 11-1 Auburn Tigers, who I think is ranked 12th.
Wow.
Pre-game at 5:30, tip-off at 6 right here on WWL, AM, FM, and hear the game anywhere, streaming live on Odyssey app. And we have John Brady's the color analyst. Does a great job, former LSU coach. He was a coach at UNO.
Oh, was he?
I think he was on the bench with Mark Petrie, your friend.
My friend.
And that was a long time ago.
That he was my friend, or he was on the bench a long time ago?
On the bench. That LSU's actually, it'll be a great test, but they're dynamite. I mean, Will Wade loses, he replenishes or reloads every year. And
It's kind of like the Nick Saban of basketball.
Not there yet, but the same concept.
Right.
And he's been under investigation for 4 years because he was caught on tape saying that he gave an LSU player a strong blank offer and he should come here. And that was caught on tape.
Yeah, that was a while ago, wasn't it?
That was 4 years ago.
Right.
Pre-NIL,
Hmm.
name, image, and likeness. And so he's been investigated for 4 years. The NCAA is about as efficient as the federal government. And
they haven't finished the investigation?
Well, it's interesting because now that they have NIL, it's not such a bad infraction because everybody's always done it. They just sort of do it in a mafia way. You know, they sort of say it without saying it.
Gotcha.
And so maybe that sort of just goes away, or with minimal penalties, because now the players get paid. So it's to say, well, you paid a player back 4 years ago. Now, they don't have any evidence that he paid him. He just said it. And he finally got some good advice and said, just shut up and don't, let him prove it.
Right.
But he said something that's incriminating, but there's not any proof of that. So that's what
So they're just stringing him along?
I just don't think they know what to do with it. And because there's just no backup to it. But and with the NIL also. And the NCAA just blew it. Because they didn't get ahead of the NIL. Now it's not governed, and they were just used to making all the money and not letting the players benefit in some form or fashion, just over stupid things,
right.
Such as, like if a player wanted to get a laptop for engineering class, they said no, they couldn't pay for that. Or if they wanted to go study abroad, they couldn't do that, and it was so oppressive that when they went to court and they related these stories, throughout the court system, they're like, the NCAA, you guys are just making them indentured servants.
Right.
And Coach Brown predicted this would happen 35, 40 years ago. But anyway, that's Coach Wade, 12, and I think he's 11-0, and he will be playing Auburn. And, actually, just on a personal note, my brother Dean was at Auburn.
Right.
He came in as a freshman baseball player the same year as Charles Barkley, and also Bo Jackson. So that was 38 years ago. Now, at the time Charles Barkley came in at Auburn, they used to ban him from the McDonald's.
Why?
He had way too many. He was big.
Oh.
Much like he is. And so he was very talented for his. He was 6'6", but he could jump out of, like he looked like a Porky Pig on a trampoline. But please don't feed him any more Big Macs. He said,
"Oh, I see.
You got that."
McDonald's didn't ban him. The school banned him.
The school basically. Yeah. But that was that. So the Auburn's good this year. They got Bruce Pearl. Also, on basketball news, the Pelicans just beat the Cleveland Cavaliers 108-104. And they were actually down, and they're without.
They're on a roll right now, huh?
One of the last 5 out of 6. And they were without Brandon Ingram. Garrett Temple, LSU player from the 2006 Final Four.
Have you been watching them?
I've been keeping up with them, yes.
But you haven't really been watching them.
Oh, a little bit. They have Willie. They got a good coach, Willie Green. He's got sort of the vibe for the contemporary player. I mean, he's able to communicate in a way where they're motivated by him. Like Van Gundy, who they had last year, was like an old school yeller. Sort of like screamer, yeller. He was just, his time sort of passed as far as. But Willie Green played. He played for the Hornets. Well, the Hornets then 2011, and he's very good, very good. He's got a good demeanor to him. He's very calm, very straightforward, and he's got the team playing. I mean,
and are they just learning that they're not going to play with Zion? Yeah,
I think they just accepted that fact. We're going to play without him, and they might be able to sneak into the play-in tournament and. Maybe make a little noise, but they got a bunch of young players that are very good. But that has nothing to do with either.
That has absolutely nothing to do with Hurricane Ida.
How do we get on that? Oh, I was promoting LSU game. That's how we got on that, and we digressed. So how do you transition from New Orleans Pelicans to Hurricane Ida recovery? You have any idea?
I have no idea. I'm going to watch it.
You going to watch it?
Let me see what you do.
All right. Where can we go from here?
I have no idea.
Roofs?
We can go roofs.
We can go. No, actually, the roof issues.
You told me most of them have been turning.
Yeah,
I'm waiting for ours to turn.
I'm
still waiting for a roof.
We're waiting until the prices go down just a little bit, just a smidge.
Is that what our insurance company's waiting for?
No, our insurance company is still waiting on our claim.
Oh.
We have it. We actually have our contractor. He has it. He may be listening right now.
Oh.
Ken, let's get it rolling. Let's get it rolling. But he has all the information, so we'll do that. We're also going to ask for our generator, 2 of them, because we got 2 generators, one for upstairs, one for downstairs. And what's the theory on getting the generator back?
Because we were mitigating our damages.
Yeah, the duty to mitigate our damages. And in fact, what we did was, by getting those generators, we were able to get industrial fans, which we're also going to ask for a return to be reimbursed, because we have no use for industrial kitchen fans otherwise.
No, we don't.
Is we stopped a lot more damage and dried it out before it became a problem.
Right.
Because we had like a back room that was sort of added on at some point. And then we have the main room has continuous wood floors.
Right.
And if in the back room, basically the roof failed, and we had 17
gallons
of buckets, but we didn't let it get to the wood floor. And the little bit that we did, we were able to dry it out with the fans.
Yep.
And so therefore, I will be asking for that back. I'll be asking for the fans. And I would be asking for it based on you have a duty to mitigate, which means a duty to, if you're there, to minimize the damages. So my argument is going to be for the couple of $1,000s of the 2 generators, the fans, that I probably saved 10, maybe 10 times, 20 times as much damage if we didn't do that.
Right.
So that's an interesting issue, and I haven't come across that too often yet, because a lot of people had their own generator already. We didn't. We bought ours. Then we bought ours the day of.
2 days before, something like right when it was going to hit, right when we knew it.
And so we didn't have one otherwise. So
no.
we'll do that and see if that will we'll see what their response is, because I don't think it's not excluded.
No.
And I think it's probably included in your duty to mitigate. Anything you did to help stop the spread of the water damage, I think if you had to, like even if you had people come in and help, you paid them off the street to do something acutely to stop the damage, you should get reimbursed for that.
Yeah.
So let's go to a break. This is Doug Sunseri, Michelle Demers, Sunseri on the Ida Recovery Connection. We'll be right back after this brief timeout.
The following ad is paid for by McClenny Mosley and Associates, 1820 St. Charles Avenue, Suite 110, New Orleans, Louisiana, 70130. Attention homeowners with homeowners insurance. If your home was damaged by the recent Hurricane Ida, you may qualify for additional compensation. Was your home damaged by Hurricane Ida? Are you concerned you were cheated or underpaid by your insurance company? If so, it's not too late to receive the compensation you deserve. In August 2021, much of Louisiana was devastated by a violent hurricane, leaving destruction in its path. Insurance companies often underpay and purposely undervalue claims for weather damage to homes, leaving you to pick up the pieces. You may be entitled to significant compensation and bad faith damages. Know your rights. Call McClenny Mosley and Associates. We have the experience needed to fight insurance companies for the value you deserve. Call now for a free evaluation of your claim.
Please call 800-299-5552.
Okay, the last spot in this set is Duck, Duck, Go, and we'll go live. Nobody on the phone at the moment.
Medicare, they found it very confusing, so they asked me to help. Frankly, I too found it difficult. There's much information out there, so many companies offering so many services, and while they all look good on paper, when I am making a decision of this importance, I prefer to sit down and speak face-to-face with an expert. People's Health has created just such a place. Now you can go speak face-to-face with an expert, someone that can walk you through all of the Medicare options available to you. Folks, I saw it for myself. I went and visited the brand new People's Health Medicare Center at 3017 Veterans Boulevard near the corner of Causeway and Vets, right next to Party City. Walk-ins are welcome, but you can also call to make an appointment at 855-208-4186. And if you missed Medicare's annual enrollment deadline, you might still have a chance to enroll in a 5-star People's Health plan. Your benefits could start in the first day next month. Call 1-855-821-2666 or visit peopleshealth.com.
No boat shows? No problem. Boat Stuff has over 100 boats on order. Come in today for boat show savings on Boat Stuff's full line of coastal boats, including Avid, Blue Wave, Vexus, Seafox, and Regulator. Boats and Yamaha motors are coming in weekly, all with boat show savings. Make no waves about it. Get your boat and Yamaha outboard from Boat Stuff in Slidell, Harvey, Port Sulphur, and Hammond, or at boatstuff.com.
Whether you're looking to purchase, build, remodel, or refinance, Jefferson Financial can help. Let our specialists help you fulfill the American dream. The mortgage specialists at Jefferson Financial Federal Credit Union can assist with securing your first home, upgrading to your dream home, or a simple cash-out refinance. We offer some of the lowest rates in town. Our focus is keeping you and your family moving forward, making memories for a lifetime. Visit jeffersonfinancial.org to learn more. Insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
It was very important to feel like a company valued me and my family's time, specifically helping get the timeshare company off of our backs.
Do all the good you can, by all the means you can, and all the ways you can. I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO and founder of Wesley Financial Group. I first heard that John Wesley quote when I was 11 years old in Sunday school. I even have his words displayed at all of our offices to give our employees the same purpose I have when fighting to get clients out of a fraudulent timeshare.
If you were not satisfied with other companies, look directly to Wesley Financial and they will help you.
I promise we'll do all the good we can every single day. That's why I guarantee we will cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. 800-511-1991. 800-511-1991. 800-511-1991.
I didn't feel so well, so I searched my symptoms on Google, and now I'm being followed by uncomfortable ads. I hate feeling like my personal data is being bought and sold. I downloaded DuckDuckGo and saw a difference right away. Take back your privacy with DuckDuckGo.
It's continuing coverage of the Ida recovery on WWLAMFM.com and the Odyssey app. Reach attorney Doug Sunseri now on the Oakwood Hart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
All right, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Michelle Demarest, Sunseri-Ida Recovery Connection. All right, I'm going to talk about another phase of this. And I sound like such a doggy downer, and I don't mean to.
It's a doggy downer.
Just like somebody with always bad news.
Okay.
And I don't mean to. But a lot of times you have this struggle to squeeze out money from an insurance company. And once you get it, you have the check that's made out to yourself and the mortgage company.
Mm-hmm.
And that is battle number 2, is, getting the money back from the mortgage company to do your repairs. Now, theoretically, the mortgage company have an interest in maintaining your house so that they have security for their loan.
Right.
Because the house is the collateral, and they have in your loan documents that if there's a payment for structure, it's got to be in the name of the mortgage company and the homeowner. Because what would happen theoretically is if it was just, if you had a substantial payment to the insured, they could keep the money, not fix the house, not pay the loan, and the insurance company will not get back its loan money because the security is impaired.
Diminished value, right?
But on the other hand, it can be maddening where after you finally get your insurance proceeds and you're ready to start and you have to send it to the insurance company and they'll hold it for an extended period of time.
Won't they hold it and then you submit proof that work has been done and then you send in the...
Theoretically, it's supposed to work that way, but it
almost
doesn't.
like a draw.
A draw, period. But like what the practical problem is say you'll submit your draw or request for a draw and they say, we've got to send out an inspector. The inspector doesn't make it out there for 3 or 4 weeks. And then after he goes back out there, he reports back to the bank, and the bank doesn't process that information for 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, so you're looking at about a 6-week lag time.
Sometimes, if they're not doing their job. Now, that's a difficult aspect. Now, the other part is, let's say you received close to the policy limits, let's say a couple $100,000, and you want to rebuild your house. Well, you have this bank that's holding your money, $200,000 or $300,000 for 3, 4, 5 months. And if you had that money
You'd be drawing interest.
Right. And you get it back without interest. So that's another issue. And how do you deal with that? It's very difficult without an enforcement mechanism.
What is the enforcement mechanism?
Well, our enforcement mechanism was we basically had, during Katrina, one or two people just to deal with Road Home and the mortgage companies. That's all they did was get the checks, try to negotiate it with the mortgage companies and also dealing with Road Home. But the other thing I had was, and this was my final strategy, I just sued the mortgage companies for the money. And also, and then I wouldn't dismiss them until they paid our costs for suing them. And
was that to get them to endorse the check, or
to get the endorse to pay it out, to be responsive? And we had I think it was Judge Wilkerson. He even had it was a judge in Lafayette. He had a procedure where, when we had finished work, you submitted to the mortgage company, and if they didn't pay, you call him up, and he would get on the phone and have a status conference with the mortgage company.
Wow.
And once he started doing that, the mortgage company started paying because they didn't want to face a judge and explain why they didn't pay, especially if, now he did say, look, just give us pictures, show your repairs, show proof of payment. And then, you could do that. Also, if you
are most of the contractors willing to wait until the mortgage company releases the money? Because then you're in a quagmire. You can't, if you don't have the money to pay the contractor. Right.
They have businesses to run. They have employees to pay. They have supplies to buy. So it does provide somewhat of a hardship. Now, some of them go into it who are able to carry that debt load with an understanding that may be a possibility. But it's sort of a difficult situation. Also, these mortgage companies are governed by the Office of Financial Institutions with the state of Louisiana. You can also file a complaint, with them also. A lot of times, if these mortgage companies get a complaint or a call from, like the Department of Insurance, they also have sometimes a different view of this. And every once in a while, for some of the issues we had with SBA, we went to this SBA. And for the Baton Rouge flood, we went to Gary Graves, the congressman, and SBA wouldn't sign checks. They wouldn't give explanations as to, getting it back to the insured, because a lot of times if you have an SBA loan, they'll be on the check also. Right. And Gary Graves people got on the phone with them, and next thing you know, the check's coming back. Now, it took a little work, and it took a little giving a lot of big background information, but I wouldn't put it past you, to go to, Congressman Scalise's office or John Kennedy. John Kennedy's good.
He'll get things done.
He'll get things done. Go to his office and see if he would make a few, or staff would make a few phone calls. But that's the second part of the process, is getting the mortgage company. Now, some of the other things you can do is, one, when you're dealing with the mortgage company, get the direct number of the person you're dealing with. Because at least if you have one person you're dealing with, they're familiar with you and they're familiar with the situation, rather than
getting jumped around to a bunch of different claims people.
Then the second thing you can do, as this is practical advice, is one of my favorite things to say in those situations is, may I speak to your supervisor? And he's going to put you in hold for 5 or 10 minutes, and he'll come back and say, you still want to speak to him? Absolutely. And then you sort of fill him in as to what occurred and what hadn't happened. And sometimes you'll get get his direct number. And you'll get some feedback on or progress on that. And also, too, just take a lot of pictures, have your invoices, have the checks that you use to pay, and also, email that to them. And that's very helpful also.
Yeah, but then the problem becomes, what if you don't have the money to write the checks to pay?
Get the estimates and show what's going to be done and show what you need to get done, the next phase of work.
Right.
So it's again, that's the second phase of this that's difficult. And I think during Katrina, I probably sued about 25 lawsuits.
Yeah, I remember that.
And we would just sue, and then they're saying we want to give it back. And I say, yeah, but you have to pay it out. Now, this is where you got the economics against the bank. Is they don't want to spend, the lawyers for banks, they cost $300, $400 an hour. And so they don't want to spend a lot of money on the problem now because it's costing them money.
Sure.
It's costing them time, and it's costing them. And so then at that point, they're a little more open to resolving the issue. And also, I've held back. I said, I have a document trail stating requesting payment. I've been ignored, or my client's been ignored, and we want some additional payment, at least to pay for the cost for.
Have they paid your attorney's fees?
Mm-hmm. As part of a resolution.
Sure.
Not necessarily under statute, but I'm saying, well, I'm not dismissing it until it gets done.
Right.
And so the banks do not want to have unnecessary litigation that will not be productive for them. And so that's that's another aspect of it. But a lot of times, if you just stay on it, again, it's time consuming. Direct numbers for the customer representatives, give them good information that they need, give them pictures, give them invoices, give them estimates,
right,
and let them know that you're going to repair this. All you need is the money. And
maybe you can even make it, determine whether they're going to give you the money in advance or whether it's just going to be a reimbursement, because that'll help you manage your expectations.
Right. And just again, you just sort of document the sequence of events so that if you have to go to that next step, you sort of have a nice little paper trail which would make the mortgage company vulnerable. The other part would be these mortgage companies are out of town. Now, one of the things I used to say during Katrina was a lot of the mortgages were local. And I would say, go to the local bank and I would say throw a fit. Just be a little bit louder than inside voice to let them know you're dissatisfied. And some loan officer runs over and says, sit down.
Yeah, but that's not usually happening these days because they're not local banks anymore.
Right. And they would say, just not loud enough so the other customers could hear you were dissatisfied. And they would run over and say, okay, let's find out what your problem is. Calm down. And a lot of times when you did that or went into the bank lobby and just insisted on progress, that would be very beneficial. So, all right, let's go to a break. Final break. Doug Sunseri, Michelle Demmer, Sunseri-Ida Recovery Connection. We'll be right back after this brief timeout. Yeah, I heard.
Celebrate the new year with the ultimate timeless gift, a diamond from Diamonds Direct. Whether you're ready to pop the question or celebrating a lifetime of love, Diamonds Direct can make this New Year's one to remember. Now through New Year's Eve, we've extended our special holiday financing offer, giving you one last chance to pick that perfect ring and spread your payments over 4 years with zero interest. That makes a $9,000.
Okay, we're looking at 6 minutes till the top of the hour.
And yes, this includes all our world-class designers like Tacori and Viraggio, the premier names in bridal jewelry. The holiday rush is over, but our selection is spectacular with dazzling rare precious diamonds in all shapes and sizes. Come see for yourself and enjoy one last week to take advantage of our special holiday finance offer. 4 years, zero interest financing on anything and everything. Start the new year with some new excitement, new hope, and some new bling. Happy New Year 2022 from your friends at Diamonds Direct. Get details, directions, and more at diamondsdirect.com. Approved credit.
At MD Anderson Cancer Center, our thoracic subspecialists are raising the standard in lung cancer care. We use advanced genomic testing to develop personalized therapies for each patient's cancer. With leading-edge technology like proton therapy, gamma knife and robotic surgery, and innovative clinical trials, we'll do whatever it takes to help our patients face and overcome lung cancer. Learn more at mdandersonlungcancer.com.
In New Orleans, a one-of-a-kind love deserves a one-of-a-kind engagement ring in a box from Oakland Heart. At Oakland Heart Jewelers, our diamond experts offer a ginormous selection of unique and popular engagement ring styles, many created by our own award-winning master craftsmen. And for generations, we've made the engagement ring shopping experience in New Orleans one of a kind as well. You share your excitement with us, and we'll share our knowledge with you. There's a great work of art and a great value in every box from Oakland Heart on Metairie Road.
When our Saints hit the field, they're prepared. They've got a plan. They've got a playbook. What's your retirement playbook? Whether you're already retired or closing in on retirement, the Retirement Playbook can help you get ready. Get your free copy of the Retirement Playbook right now. Visit saintsretirementplaybook.com. That's saintsretirementplaybook.com. Brought to you by Presley Wealth Management, the official wealth management partner of the New Orleans Saints.
Hi, folks. Joel Myers from my friends at Mercedes-Benz of New Orleans. If you're in the market for a great pre-owned luxury vehicle, look no further than Mercedes-Benz of New Orleans, where you can shop from a large selection of top luxury brands, including BMW, Lexus, Range Rover, Cadillac, Infiniti, and many others. Of course, we have a large selection of top quality certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz vehicles as well. Because at Mercedes-Benz of New Orleans, we get the nicest pre-owned vehicles from the nicest people. Our customers, Mercedes-Benz of New Orleans, Veterans Boulevard in Metairie.
Choosing a marriage and family therapist or counselor is a big decision. The Louisiana Licensed Professional Counselors Board of Examiners want you to know that state law requires mental health counselors and therapists to be licensed. Licensure requires a minimum of a master's degree and 3,000
We're going live after this.
experience. Licensees are bound to a code of ethics when working with clients to improve mental, behavioral, and emotional health. Make sure your counselor or family therapist is licensed in the state of Louisiana. Look for your counselor's credentials at lpcboard.org.
Back to Ida Recovery Connection on WWL, AMFM.com, and the Odyssey app. You can get expert advice now from attorney Doug Sunseri on the Oakland Heart Jewelers talk and text line, 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. It is 9:53 in Army time. That would be what? 21:53, huh?
Oh, okay.
It's late.
It is late.
Ian says anything goes at night. We've been pretty straight line today.
We have been straight line.
Yeah, sometimes we're not always there. When we have a bottle of wine and doing the show, we
I think that's ever.
we're just kidding. We're just kidding. We're just kidding. Just kidding. One of the other complaints that people have are the rotation of adjusters. I hear a lot of adjusters.
That's a little frustrating.
Some adjusters I hear are quitting because they have too much caseload. And
Were they just frustrated?
yeah, it's just too much caseload, and so then your third or fourth adjuster. That's why if you email everything and keep it scanned, you can just press a few buttons if you get a new adjuster rather than reinventing the wheel. So a lot of times, I would say if you can, I would scan all your receipts and organize it in a electronic file, and at least if you have that issue regarding new adjusters, you can just.
That's why I was wondering if they would take Dropbox. That's a great way to organize everything.
Yeah. I think some, the ones that have direct emails, they would. Some of the ones are a little more claims that would have you.
Or Google Drive or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, we just use Dropbox.
Right.
So.
But that would be another thing, is because I even learned, even with, I think we got probably about 140 claims right now running. And each time I get new claims, I figure out a new way to electronically store, because we're not even doing paper files, in a way that when somebody calls me, I can just go click, 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 and get it over to them very
using
efficiently.
Google Drive, aren't you right now?
We're using Google Drive to as our master list, but for the all the policies and all the estimates and all the ALE, we have that electronically. So if a claims adjuster calls us, all we have to do is just attach it and send the email, or we might get a new adjuster who says the home office didn't give me the file contents, and I'm like, okay, well, I'll send it to you right now, and get it over to them. So that's just another way of dealing with it. Again, it's maddening, but what are you going to do about it?
Well, yeah, you can. I mean, you can get frustrated, like you said, for about 5 minutes, and then you have to figure out how to work around the problem, because it is what it is.
Right. You're never going to change it. It's going to be like that till we leave this earth. And insurance has been like that since Lloyd's of London, back in the 1500s or whenever it started. So it's just what it is, and you just have to adapt in a way that is efficient. But I like, if you could scan, even if you could, scanning's great, and it's very efficient, and
Right.
you don't have to, shuffle through, old receipts and papers. And also too, what I do is, you can just get an Excel spreadsheet for all the other issues regarding additional living expenses or contents, and you attach everything to it, and you have it in your scan, and you really don't have to mess with it anymore. It's electronically stored.
And then you don't have to worry about losing anything because it is scanned, so you
Right.
always have it.
Right. So there you go. That's just simple, but just adapt. So we're going to be on 3 hours from 8 to 11, but you're telling me that you want me to save Jermaine for Tuesday night.
Yes,
for next.
please.
Okay, we're going to save Jermaine Williams from Tiger Roofing, who's supposed to be tonight, but he's traveling back with his kids from.
And he's got his mouse ears on and everything.
We're not going back to Disney World, huh? Please tell us we don't have after that to go.
I don't have a plan anytime soon.
If we get grandchildren, when we get them, do we have to take them?
No, I'm not committing one way or another.
I'm going to take them to Las Vegas.
I just don't think that's happening.
Teach them how to, just hang out in the sports book and how to bet some of the games. Or
No, considering our kids, I don't think that's happening.
Some of them might be okay with it. Go see the show. That's what they did to me.
Yeah, I know. That's therein lies the problem.
I had a great time.
I rest my case.
I had a great time.
Yeah,
But we'll be on from 8 to 11, and with All Things Legal, Albert and myself, and then we'll be back. I think we'll be back next Tuesday, and we'll have Jermaine Williams of Tiger Roofing. You see, I love having Jermaine for the roofing questions.
And you're also going to talk to him a lot about sports.
I'm going to talk to him about LSU, and I'll kid him about the signing bonus I got him when he was signed with the Cowboys in Tampa Bay.
See if he spent it all yet.
I think he could have spent that signing. I think he spent that signing bonus when he bought his shoes, his tennis shoes for it. So he had eaten that up. So I should have done a better job negotiating that signing bonus for him.
Wow, that is what it is.
But he one thing he probably hates that there was no NIL.
Yeah.
Because he would have been, when he
There's
came to LSU.
There's a lot of players like that.
When he was the all-time leading rusher in Louisiana history at Ascension Catholic. And he was just, they did have NIL, but nobody knew about it. All right, Hitter Music. We'll be back next week on Ida Recovery Connection, and we see you Sunday morning, All Things Legal. Have a great week. See you then.